Right, let's begin with The Guardian. Leo.
Yeah, so The Guardian has, it's got the Tories join calls for Sunak to open pay talks with nurses. But before we go into that, I'd just like to say they're still banging on about Dominic Raab. He's been accused of bullying. Apparently a third of staff in his private office team have alleged bullying. I don't know how many people they've got. I wouldn't have thought there'd be more than 3.
Well, when I read it, I actually thought it was like a third person had come forward. And then I read it was like a third of all people.
Yeah.
That's huge.
In a private office team.
Complaints. 8 formal complaints.
Yeah.
8 formal complaints. I don't know. I mean, everybody's got a boss they don't like, you know, so they're just trying to... Now they've got a lever, now they've got a mechanism for making somebody's life a misery. I just can't believe this is adults complaining about...
His is the person whose life has been made a misery.
Yeah, they're bullying him. They're bullying him by complaining about his bullying. They're making complaints. It's disgusting. They're running to teacher. These are grown men and women and non-binary people complaining about bullying. Like, adult. I understand if you're 8 years old, but if you're an adult, come on. Anybody who complains about bullying over the age of, like...
I see you on the fence of this.
Yeah.
So it doesn't deter you the fact that a third of his workforce are complaining about him?
A third of his workforce deserve to be fired. Look, he's under a lot of stress. He's going to shout at people sometimes. Everyone in government is under a lot of pressure to be less rubbish, so they're going to let off steam once in a while by shouting.
The question is, can you not do your job well without shouting and screaming at people? Surely we're evolved as a species now to that point.
We were shouting and screaming at each other about 15 minutes ago, Josh.
I know, but we don't do our job very well, so it's fine.
But are you going to deny any allegations of bullying? Because Dominic Raab is vowing thoroughly to rebuke and refute any allegations of bullying.
Ooh, rebuting and refuting, old I'd like to do some rebuting, refuting.
I mean, I guess it is. It's 8 against 1. So I think, you know, it looks like HR departments have got.
He's got a lot of testosterone, doesn't he? You've seen him. He's quite built.
He's buff.
He's buff. He could take them all on. That's actually what I'd like to see. It's like that's how they should resolve it. Like him in the centre. Like sort of Enter the Dragon style, and then they all come in and try and take him one-on-one. Yeah,
and if he was in the Bush Tucker thing, the trials, whatever, in the jungle, get me out of here thing, like...
that's what I want to see. He'd just break everyone's neck and eat everyone's food.
Yeah, he'd be ripping the spines out of kangaroos. It'd be amazing. The other story is, so senior Tories are now calling for Sunak to open talks with nurses. This is ahead of the nurses' strike, which is going ahead and is going to result in, I think, 70,000 appointments being cancelled and pushed back. And we've got a waiting list at the moment of 7.2 million. So even though it sounds like a lot of appointments are going to be missed, it's really a drop in the ocean of the sort of perma-crisis we've got in the NHS. But yeah, the nurses are asking for 19%, a 19% pay rise, which is a big whack. You know, that's a lot. But they're saying that they haven't had pay rises in line with inflation and in line with private sector pay over the last decade. So this would sort of help them catch up. But I think that's pretty unlikely. 19% is pretty crazy.
19%, yeah, but they're saying that is to sort of catch them up to that 20%. Although I did have a look at some figures that was slightly misleading, where it was like actually it was more like 32%. Like they'd gone up by 20% in the last 10 years, but inflation had gone up 32%, if that makes sense. Right. So it was like more like 10%.
But it looks like they have got a lot of public support. There's been a lot of honking today. It looks like...
So we sure love a honk.
That's how we measure success. Yes, people have been honking at their placards, and it seems that they are in support.
Well, you've really got your finger on the pulse there, Cressida.
That's right.
Yeah, but what making it... There's no way for somebody like me who doesn't support it to show our disapproval. Like, what can I do? There's only the horn on a car.
I've got to lean out. Really? So you think you should be a special horn?
You could just keep driving
support
around
horn,
in silence.
and the also get back to work horn.
Cars have to have a new horn that says, I don't support this strike.
OK, very good. We'll call it the Leo horn.